Radio Rahim with Robert Garcia. Man, what did you guys start? Like, Mikey decided to jump 2 weight divisions. Now you got Canelo doing it. This is like the new trend. You heard that Mikey wanted to make that kind of leap. You were like, oh, this is crazy. You try to talk him out of it. Obviously, he won that argument. Now Canelo's doing not really the same thing, but maybe even more because we're looking 3 pounds even heavier than that, 15 instead of a 12-pound jump. Are you as apprehensive about Canelo making that jump as you were with Mikey?
Look, totally the opposite. I think Canelo has the tools. He's got whatever it takes to win that fight. When Mikey made that decision, my dad, you guys all know we were against that fight. We thought it wasn't a good idea. Mikey, like you said, Mikey won and took the fight. And now everybody knows that Mikey wasn't able to pull it off. But I think Canelo has learned so much. He's gotten so much better, and enough to be able to pull it off. I really believe Canelo is gonna. I even think he's gonna stop Kovalev with body shots.
Really?
Well, look, we've seen Kovalev's last few fights, and it seems like he tends to fade a little in the late rounds. Plus, I was in my gym in Oxnard when he was training there, preparing for fights, and I would see some of the trainings. So, I know he's always been a hard-working man, but it also comes to the point where maybe too many fights, too many diets, losing weight, gaining weight, and all that. It comes to a point where at an age, it's going to affect your body, and I think that's where Kovalev is at right now. He, as hard as he trains, he still seems to be fading in the late rounds. So I think that's going to be that's why I pick Canelo to even stop him in the late rounds.
Everyone talks about the weight differential, but I thought, and I asked Canelo this yesterday, he may be more comfortable at 175 pounds even than at 160. You being a trainer, knowing the way that it takes fighters to cut weight and what it requires for them to get down, is it possible that Canelo might be more dangerous at 75 even than he is at 60?
I believe so. Look, because to come to 160, I'm sure he has to lose some weight. The last 5, 6, 10 pounds are probably the hardest. So a lot of fighters kill themselves to lose the last 10 pounds the week of the fight. So from the weigh-ins to the next day, they cannot be fully recovered, even though they do drink and eat and vitamins, whatever it takes to recover. You can't do it in 24 hours. I think this time around, Canelo's not going to worry about a diet. All he's going to worry about is the game plan. He's got a great team. The Reynosos have been doing a great job with him. I think it might benefit him.
I was wondering also, once he fights at 175 pounds, Canelo's a mature man now. He's not the 22-year-old kid anymore. It may not even be possible for him to get back down to 160. We had the same debate about Mikey, knowing now that he probably won't campaign at 47. Is 40 as low as he can get? What's in the cards for him now?
Well, look, I think Mikey could make 135 for a big fight, something huge. But I think 140 is probably where he belongs, and that's probably where he'd be the most comfortable at. He's not a big man. He's coming from featherweight, so he's not very tall. He doesn't have a built body where it's hard for. I think 140 should be fine. Even like I told you, even 135 for a huge fight, something that really meant something. If not, 140 was where he should campaign at. I have 140 pounders in my gym, and even against those guys in my gym like Jose Ramirez, Lindolfo Delgado, you name them. I have plenty of 140 pounders. He's the smaller man. He is the smaller man. I think 140 is where he belongs, with the exception of maybe something huge at 135. I think he could still do 135, but 140 is probably where he should fight.
Well, Mikey has proven time and time again that he's a competitor. Obviously, his heart and soul is in every fight. Not getting the victory against Errol Spence had to take a toll mentally and, on his spirits. You're not just his trainer, you're his brother. getting him to a place where he's confident and positive again about what he can do in the ring and looking forward. What did that take? Are you even there yet?
Look, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but just the fact that it was such a huge event, we lost the fight, but know that 47,000 people were there supporting the fight, cheering, paid flights, paid tickets, so, spend money to go see. That I think that was already that should motivate us to know the level of Mikey, where he belongs. I think he belongs in big fights, but it was just a mistake, trying to go after Errol Spence at that, maybe now the best welterweight in the division. It was just very difficult. Mikey thought he was able to, he would be able to pull it off, but he said it after the fight. Whatever I tried, he had an answer to everything, and that just tells you how good Spence is. Mikey tried, nothing to be ashamed of. I think Mikey still in a position to get huge fights, to become champion again. There's many other titles, 140, even 135, or maybe even 147 if it's the right champion.
Who would the right champion be?
Pacquiao is probably the only, and the reason I said Pacquiao is because it's probably the biggest fight. But it's also a man that moved up from smaller divisions, little by little. Even though he already is a solid welterweight, he's not that much bigger than Mikey. Mikey's probably a little bit taller than him, so that's the difference. I don't think that would be much of a disadvantage than like we did against Spence.
One Mexican who shook up the world by taking on a huge challenge nobody thought he would win. Obviously, I'm talking about Andy Ruiz. Right. Not only did he get that win, but now he's got that rematch in Saudi Arabia, of all places. I don't think I've spoken to you since that fight even happened. What did you think of the Ruiz win? Was it a fluke? And can he do it again?
Look, I was in Mexico at some other fights with Lindolfo Delgado, and we were actually watching it on our phones. And everybody in the locker room were so excited. So we got so happy because nobody really thought, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think he was gonna pull it off. I was just happy for him and his team already that they got that big fight, big payday. But once they won, it made us so proud, being that he's Mexican American, the underdog. Nobody gave him a chance, and to be able to do something like that just tells you that anything is possible. Now with the rematch, I think he's going to do the same thing again. Look, sometimes a fighter gets the guy that's supposed to win gets knocked out because he got caught with one punch, got dropped, and never got up. Mm-hmm. You got knocked out. You come back and you win the rematch. It's possible. But in this case, he dropped him a couple times. Then he not only beat him, I think he beat him mentally. I think he took his heart away. I think that when the fight ended, I think Anthony Joshua just didn't want to be there. He wanted to be somewhere else. And I think that coming to the rematch is going to really affect him. I think Ruiz wins the rematch again.
Wow. And lastly, we just saw Lomachenko perform a few weeks ago. Looks like Mikey and Lomachenko might never happen, especially if Lomachenko's going down at 26. You think that fight is just dead in the water now?
Well, look, I think that would probably be the biggest fight in boxing, if it ever was to happen, because Lomachenko's skills is just unbelievable. He's my favorite fighter when it comes to skills. I love to watch him fight, but him against Mikey would just make it such a big fight that I think the whole world would love to see it. But I didn't even know if he's coming. Is he planning on coming down?
That's what he said. Once he unifies at 35, that he's headed to 26.
Well, then I guess we won't, because I don't think Mikey's gonna ever come down to close to 135. If he does, it'll be 35, maybe for a Lomachenko fight. But if Lomachenko's planning on coming down, then that's probably something we'll never see then. Maybe a sparring match.
You said he's your favorite fighter. Is he topping your pound-for-pound list right now?
He's number one, pound for pound, because, look, his skills, maybe he doesn't have the opponents to be able to a Tank or the new kid that just fought a couple weeks ago in the zone.
Devin Haney?
Devin Haney. Maybe we won't get to see those fights, but just his skills. I enjoy watching him. He's one that's showing us something that we don't see often, or we've never seen before. So I enjoy watching fights. So that's why I pick him as he's my favorite fighter.
You think that Errol Spence at 47 is the king of that division? Obviously, everyone talks about Crawford, Spence. Maybe we see it, maybe we don't. But right now, who would you put at the top of that division?
I think it's between those two right now. I still think right now maybe Crawford, because of just he's been coming up in divisions and dominating and everything. And I would probably say Crawford, because I think he's accomplished a little bit more with 135, 140, being undisputed at 140, and now 147 and dominating everybody that easy at 147. I would pick Crawford, but if they fight, I don't know who to pick. You know what I mean? Yeah. Spence had a big win against Mikey, but before that, with the exception of when he won the title in England, besides that, I don't think he's had those fights to be mentioned as the top welterweight. I think Crawford has done a little bit more. But if they were to fight, I don't know who to pick.
There's one more rematch that we'll get by the end of the year, and it's in the heavyweight division. Wilder Fury. Fury just fought. I don't know the measure you took of him in that fight. What do you think of the rematch? What do you think of Fury's last performance?
Look, Fury's great for TV. They did a great job with all the publicity, the Mexican Independence Day. He he wanted to represent Mexico, so it was a great event, great show, great fight to be in. But the way he fought, I don't know if styles make fights. From his performance, I would probably pick Wilder. I probably think Wilder knocks him out this time, but I might be wrong.
And what's the one fight that you're most looking forward to, made or not made? Like if you could make one fight with a magic wand, what would it be?
Mikey versus Loma.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you the magic wand.
I think we'll make it. I think it's gonna happen.
Really?
I really think so.
What, like a 35?
I think it will happen. I really do. I think Loma's up for challenges too. I know them. I know his trainer. I know his manager. I know his dad. They train in my gym, so I know them. I know they love challenges. I know they want to accomplish things that people don't believe they can. So I think eventually the fight will happen.
I hope you're right, man.
So.
And you usually are. So that's why we're always talking to Robert Garcia. Man, it's been a long time since we talked. You always give me the time. I appreciate it. Radio Rahim with Robert Garcia.